Today's question has to do with the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Check it out.
Hey, John, this is Brandon from LA. Just curious why all you guys still care about the Fantastic Four. I mean, they literally haven't been relevant in my lifetime. And I was born in 85. 3 different films have been bad, 2 of which have flopped. Their comic book series was legit canceled. Could you imagine Iron Man, Batman, Spider-Man, Justice League getting a comic book canceled? Wouldn't happen. But that's how relevant the Fantastic Four are. If they weren't Marvel's first family, would this picture even be happening? Hope y'all are good.
All right, thanks a lot for calling that in.
I love Brandon.
I do too.
That energy is fantastic.
So look, again, one of the more buzzed about in our circles, when I say our circles, I mean people who make shows like this and the people who watch shows like this, our circles. A lot of people in our circles have been very excited about the idea coming out, finally get it done right, all this kind of stuff, the speculation, who's going to be Reed Richards, who's going to be Sue Storm, who's going to be Dr. Doom, all this kind of stuff. But maybe we need to pump the brakes. Maybe Brandon is our brake pumper. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Maybe he's the one that needs to slam the brakes on things, say, whoa, time out here for a second. And all the hoopla and all the rush. Are the Fantastic Four even relevant? And by the way, you're not wrong in a lot of things that you bring up. There have been some iterations of the movies. None of them have done exceedingly well. Now, you can make the argument that they haven't been good movies, sure, but often the audience doesn't know that they're not good movies until after the opening weekend is done. And the fact of the matter is they have not been great. They've not been made well. They've not been received well. Not a lot of people seem to flock out to go, despite the fact that even the last one, Josh Trank's movie, a lot of people were talking about the Fantastic Four movie, did not do great. Of course, there's a lot of drama surrounding that. And you're also right. I remember back when I was still at AMC, the news came out that Marvel Comics straight up canceled the Fantastic Four comic book. Because I remember at the time, literally less people were buying that comic book than were watching our Hero show with you, me, and John Schnepp. Literally more people watched that Hero show than were buying the Fantastic Four comic. And we didn't have global blockbuster numbers on our AMC Hero show at the time. So they've tried it again and again. Never worked. There's a younger generation today that did not grow up watching Fantastic Four stuff. Are they even relevant anymore? And I would say, no, they're not relevant. They're really not. I mean, that's just the cold, hard truth of it. If you look in the pop cultural zeitgeist, does Fantastic Four rank really high for anybody? Not really. Certainly not amongst the general public. So why are they making it? Well, you kind of answered the question in your call. Because the last line of Brandon's call there was, if they weren't the first family of Marvel, would they even be making this movie? No. But that's like saying if ice cream wasn't delicious, would you still be eating it? No, but ice cream is delicious. And while they may not have real relevance at this moment, they are still the first family of Marvel. There is an importance to that. And I think here's the big word. The word is potential. While I think a lot of us would agree that the Fantastic Four are not the most relevant amongst comic book properties in the world today, I think we would also all agree that the potential of the Fantastic Four, the ceiling is very high. The ceiling is very high. And the very fact that nobody has been able to do it justice yet, I think
already
that's
done justice right.
Well, oh
here.
yeah, there you go. I mean, how can
Done
we possibly
justice right?
How can we speak crap about this masterpiece? The Corman version. Anyway, like we can ask ourselves about the potential of it. There is a lot of untapped potential here. This could be something that, if they hit it right, could become very culturally relevant. Because listen, flash back to before the Guardians of the Galaxy came out. Were the Guardians of the Galaxy relevant? Not at all. Nobody gave 2 squirts of urine about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and even fewer people had even heard of them, right? But they knew there was potential there. and they invested in it, and now they have a global hit franchise worth billions of dollars. The Fantastic Four is the first family of Marvel. There is something symbolic and important about trying to get this property to work. And now in the hands of Marvel, and under the tutelage of Kevin Feige, people see that there is a greater chance of maybe getting to that potential than ever before. So I agree. The Fantastic Four are not relevant right now. But you make this movie because they are the first family and because the potential to be something Guardians of the Galaxy-like or greater, I think exists. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2023, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for your phone bill? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I made the switch over to Mint Mobile a while ago. The process couldn't have been easier, and I can't believe that I am spending less than a third of what I was spending on one of the other major carriers before. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily in minutes with eSIM. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, it brings up a good question. It's like we're talking a lot about Fantastic Four, a property that, are they even relevant anymore? And why are they making this movie? How would you answer that?
Well, I would start by saying, meanwhile, in the Baxter Building with Marvel's first family, you have to understand that, like you just said, it's how it's done. You look at John Krasinski as Reed Richards. That is a character that belongs in the MCU.
I agree.
And I think that even watching Tim Story's first two Fantastic Four movies, I never bought into them. Like, I felt like I was watching movie stars cosplay as characters. And it's not that they were badly made, but if you go back and you read John Byrne's run from the 80s of Fantastic Four, you read Jonathan Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, those are great stories. And I think part of the problem with Fantastic Four is they were at their best when they were dealing with these big comic book cosmic issues. I don't mean issues of comics. I mean problems they had, and we
weren't they the first ones to come across the Time Variance Authority and everything too in the comics, or was that She-Hulk that came across them first?
I don't remember.
I believe they wander into the Chronopolis.
Yeah, they do. Right. Yeah, they had all these stories. The problem was when you tried to, you couldn't tell those stories then because you would have had to have all of this backstory or this universe that people already understood, and they didn't. They were starting from scratch. As a matter of fact, the Fantastic Four movies didn't have other superheroes in them. They had Silver Surfer, but that was kind of part of their mythology. So they didn't have any context with which to do a great Fantastic Four story, other than Doctor Doom. But now they do. Now you have the MCU, and you've got Celestials, and you've got the Guardians, and you have the Time Variance Authority, and you now have a universe that the Fantastic Four themselves can inhabit, so you can jump right into what made those stories great, which was the crazy cosmic nature of the Byrne stories, or what Hickman did. So I think now is the time, for the very first time, that they can do something and the Fantastic Four can work. There's even the potential to bring Franklin Richards, their son, in, who's one of the most powerful mutants.
Well, one of the most powerful beings.
Yeah, beings in the Marvel. I mean, all of that. I think now the Fantastic Four could really work, especially in the context of the MCU. But I agree with our viewer that they kind of have been irrelevant. And even when they tried to make movies, they never caught fire because the movies themselves were just not that interesting. Even when you brought in Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer.
Chris, I mean, we've been talking about the upcoming Fantastic Four a lot of big stories, the casting speculation, all that kind of stuff. Do you think they're kind of an irrelevant property right now? And why would they even move ahead and make a movie about it now?
I don't think they're irrelevant. I just think we haven't had anything done well with them on screen in a very, very long time. Obviously, that gem you brought up there, Jonathan, perfection.
Yeah.
But there's really great storytelling to be had here, right? We just talked about on Weekly Hero a few issues back about Full Circle by Alex Ross, which is phenomenal. It's so good. If you want relevant Fantastic Four, go check that out. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal story that really is such a love letter to the Fantastic Four's iconography. And I also just want to go to your point of, can you imagine making a movie about a comic book that's been canceled? I sure can. Blade. Hulk lasted 6 issues. Iron Man has been canceled multiple times. Viva Las Vegas. There was cancellation again in 2019. And that Viva Las Vegas one with Iron Man, John Favreau was working on that comic. So this happens all the time. And that doesn't reflect whether or not these movies are going to be good or movies are going to be made about them, right? The mediums are all different here. And everything comes down to quality storytelling. If your story's good, then people are going to be interested. And what could be more relevant than a great story?
All right. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Are you buying into the hype of Fantastic Four like the rest of us are? But do we kind of acknowledge that probably for a lot of people, maybe it's not a big deal yet? Do you think it's wise for them to put a lot of investment into getting the Fantastic Four back up and running again? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.